Hello and welcome back to Chewing the Crust, the podcast where an ordinary guy speaks with extraordinary people. Each week I try and sit down with guests who faced huge challenges and found ways to turn them into something powerful, inspiring and life-affirming. If you're new here, please hit the like, follow and subscribe, and then wherever you're listening, you'll be able to follow the actual podcast. It helps the show a great deal, and it also might just be the reminder that you need that you're not alone when you can join in with these conversations. Today, I'm joined by a wonderful friend of mine, Arsenal Whittick. His story is about silence, stammering, late diagnosis, and learning to embrace connection in ways that once felt impossible. He's now an autism advocate, a trainer, a speaker, which I'm going to underline a speaker because you will learn how important that is, and someone who also recently attempted a Guinness World Record for the most hugs in a minute. He's also the subject of the book, A Boy Called Arsenal, and I'm just really pleased that you've taken the time out of your day, Arsenal, to join me, so thanks for that.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome. Now, I don't know if you've seen any of my podcasts, but I'm about to perhaps embarrass you a little bit because before every chat we have, I do a poem about my guests. And I've written a little poem about you. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, here we go. In silence he stood, unheard in the crowd, a voice locked away, yet destined so loud. Once frozen by touch, afraid of embrace, now breaking records with hugs in their place. Through stammer and struggle, a truth would ignite. A boy called Arsenal stepped into the light. So, welcome, Arsenal Whittick.
Oh. Wow, that was really good.
Thank you. Well, you're a special and important person to me, and to be fair, everybody I've spoken to has been special and important, and hopefully that won't change, but I know we've only met a couple of times, but I think we have a friendship that I don't know, you're just an inspiring person, and I just like inspiring people.
Yeah.
So the golden question I have to ask for you before we go into any of the nitty gritty, and it's probably the most important question you'll ever be asked on any podcast, so no pressure. What is your favourite pie filling?
Steak and kidney.
Oh, no, not steak and kidney. Get steak, but not kidney.
No,
that is awful.
Yes, steak, I'll go.
But don't worry, I'm not cooking it for you.
No, I had a good steak pie at Card Fest, actually. It was really nice. I went back the next day.
How are you with food?
Normally, I eat the same every day. Yeah, because food to me is just to keep me alive.
Really?
Yes. Oh, like I've never had a Chinese, never had a curry. I've never had rice.
Wow.
I've never had a takeaway, because in my head, food has to look like food. So I will have like a pie dinner, a fish dinner, a sausage dinner, then I go back around it. And for breakfast, I have 2 rounds of brown dry toast, bowl of porridge with a banana, and then for dinner, 2 chicken sandwiches, 2 dried Weetabix, and 1 apple, and then tea time I'll have like a pie dinner, a fish dinner. Yeah, and I never get bored or nothing. And the reason I don't have a Chinese is that it just looks like elastic bands to me. And why would I eat elastic bands?
That's about right. I can understand entirely that.
And I haven't had a curry because it looks like dog shit. And why would they eat dog shit?
Yeah, exactly. What about rice?
Rice. When I was younger, my brother used to take me fishing. And what he'd do, he'll get all the maggots, he'll put them in his hands, he'll put them in his mouth, warm them up, take them back out, and use it as bait. And when I see a bowl of rice, I just see maggots.
Blimey. Oh, dear me.
The reason I've never had a takeaway, because in my brain's that black and white, is that why would I order food in when I've got food in the cupboard? That's how black and white.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
The bit that interested me about the foods that you listed, though, is dry brown toast and dry Weetabix.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love the crunch and the texture. I love it.
And is that the same for both of those?
Yeah.
Because they are similar. I can see the similarity.
Yeah, yeah. It does the kid's head in. Do you know, when we're out and I'll open my lunchbox, I'll say, does anyone want a dried Weetabix? They're all having like grapes and bananas, and I'm like, who wants a Weetabix? They're like,
oh, brilliant. No thanks, Grandad. I want to start right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I know I've mentioned it already, but I'm going to mention it nice and early. This is a book about Arsenal, and the clue's in the name, A Boy Called Arsenal. It's written by a chap called Alan Hill, and we can come to that. But it basically goes through your life, doesn't it? Certainly your younger life, and it's just breathtaking. And the thing I like about it, I said we'd get to it, but I'm doing it anyway. I really like books where they are like a diary entry, and that's basically, it's you talking, and it's been written down, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, he's done this sort of like in a interview role.
Yeah. And the other thing that I should probably say just early on, this is less of an issue if you are watching on YouTube, but if you're listening through audio, is that Arsenal used to have a terrible stammer, and you now manage it. So if there are any pauses or anything like that, that's what's going on. So I don't want to. What I don't want to do is cut them out, because that's you and your personality, and it's something I like about you, and I think it's something that demonstrates how far you've come. So, but I think if somebody's listening, they might worry that the thing that they're listening to might not be working properly, and that it's not that. It's just that it's you dealing with that, isn't it? Can you remember, Arsenal, what it felt like to be? I know that they use the phrase locked in, don't they? But can you remember what it felt like to not be heard?
Yeah, in the playground, he took the register, and when they called my name, I couldn't get no words out, so I got marked down as absent, and then everyone thought that I didn't know my own name, and then I got the nickname of No Name, and then it just got worse, really. First lesson in history, Mrs. Lamb said, Arsenal, can you read out the next page? Wow, I know what, I was trying so hard, and I couldn't get no words out. And what the class done was pretend to fall asleep and snore, and it just followed me everywhere. Just when I left school, I tried to join the army, and I got rejected because of my speech. And when I've gone for jobs, I got a job in this really big restaurant in Bournemouth. And I was the only manager who wasn't allowed to actually go in the restaurants. I could go all back about. I can go in all the kitchens, but I wasn't allowed in the restaurant because of my speech.
And how did that make you feel?
To be honest, I never realised I wasn't allowed in the restaurants until another manager told me. And what I'd done then next day, just resigned because I just thought it was wrong. So just resigned. And that's when I've gone in the pubs in the past, when I've gone the bar staff have said to me, we can't serve you. And I've asked to see the manager. Then the manager has come over and said to me, can you leave the premises? And I've asked him why, and he said to me, I think you've had enough, don't you? So I told him I had a stammer. And wow, he couldn't apologise enough. But the damage was done. That's people just need to be trained more, don't they?
And there's no getting away from it. That's publicly embarrassing. To be turned down, that's where the damage is, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like when I used to get on to the bus. You have to tell the bus driver, like the name of the road or the stop. And because I'll be stammering, there'll be people behind me having a go, come on, mate. Bloody hell, got to go to work and all stuff like that. So, but then I learned to control it when I was 40. So it's just been over 20 years now I've been talking the way I do now.
You told me, I think, when we've spoken in the past, that it's a type of breathing that you use to do that.
Yeah,
right?
Coastal breathing. I use my diaphragms. Oh, it's a muscle up by your chest. A lot of opera singers use it. So what I do, I take a breath and then I talk on that breath, and then I'll take another breath and talk again. That's why I talk in blocks, because I'm speaking on an outward breath.
And is that a common? Do you know what causes the stutter then? Do you know the science behind it?
You don't know, because if I sing, I don't stammer. Remember Gareth Gates on? Yeah, he had a stammer, didn't he? But when he sang, he never.
Yeah.
So to this day, you still don't know why people stammer.
And I think until you describe that, whilst I understand how important speech is, but booking a ticket for something, getting on a bus, people don't realise those tiny little actions in your scenario, when people are impatient and rude, how difficult that must make every single little action for you. Just when you're stuck.
Yeah, that's why I harmed a lot in the past, because that was my way of letting out the frustration.
Well, let's go to that. Let's explain, because That's something we haven't really touched on, but do you want to explain that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I never knew that I was self-harming until it's how I got diagnosed with autism in 2010, November. My daughter come up to me and she was in tears, and she come up to me and she put her head on my shoulder there, and I just stood still like that. And that night, when she went to bed, thinking I never loved her, she tried to take her life. And next day in hospital, they asked her why, and she just pointed to me and reeled off about 20 things about me. And the hospital said to me, Arsenal, in your opinion, how much is that true? And I said all of it. Then they said, really? Then I said, oh no, there's one thing I don't do. Self-harm, look. And they said to me, Arsenal, what are all the bruises up here? So I said, that's where I butt the wall and knocked myself out. And they said, why are your veins all blistered there? And I said, that's where I punch. And they said to me, Arsenal, that's self-harm. And I never ever knew. I first started doing it at the age of 9, and I'd been doing it all the way up into my 40s, well, 50s. And when I got diagnosed with autism in 2011, age 49, what I'd done, I kept a diary for 1 year, and every time I harmed, I put it in the diary. And over the year, I harmed 482 times. And what I've done then, I read the diary over and over and over again. And what I realised where all my triggers were. What I've done then, I got a trigger to harm, learned a strategy to stop me, and I went all through the diary. It took me 4.5 years, and after 43 years of self-harm, I've not harmed now since Tuesday, the 19th of August 2014. Oh, it's just over 10 years, 11 years actually. Yeah.
That's incredible. I worked it out the other day. It's about 4,000 something days.
It's some like 4,025 days it is.
Incredible. That truly is incredible. And I mean, so nobody else remarked on the fact that you had bruises and you were in this until that day?
Yeah, it was only when the hospital asked me what all the bruises were. But yeah, I just thought everyone done it, say. It was just a no.
Was it something you did in private?
And no, I used to do it in front of the children. In the book, the girls, and my 2 girls have a chapter in the book, and they talk about how they've witnessed me butting the walls or punching walls, or like I broke my knuckle as well. And yeah, because I just thought it was normal, and I think it become normal to them that it's what that does.
Was it done in anger? So was it frightening to witness?
to me, I can put my hand on my heart and I can say I've never intentionally harmed. I just get to that point where I explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that release. That it's just an
Yeah.
uncontrollable release. Well, you can control it now, but
Yeah. Because I have strategies and everything now. And like one of my strategies is just every day on my mobile, I put my alarm on for every 1 hour. And when it goes off, what I do, I stand back and I check in on myself and make sure I'm okay in this environment. And that's what I do. So every hour, I'm not going to go straight up here. So we're angry. And there's days if I think it's going to be a hard day, I put my mobile on like every 20 minutes so that I'm checking in all the time on myself. That's one of my strategies I use each day.
and you were kind of you were very passionate about football, weren't you, as a young kid?
Yeah.
And do you think that helped you? Do you think that was something for you to pin your flag to as you were? Because it must have been difficult otherwise. You know, not being able to communicate with friends and things like that. So, was football an important thing to you, or do you think that became an obstacle?
No, a bit of both. I used to go to matches and that, and what I couldn't process is that, and this is because of my autism, black and white, I couldn't process that Arsenal couldn't win every game. And when they drew, self-harm. And when they lost, suicide attempts.
Oh my God.
So it became a addiction in the end. And I had to go to counselling and that because it become an addiction. It's like when my brother was getting married, he sent me an invitation. And when I opened it up, I was so angry. I was going, who gets married on a match day? Wow, I was gutted. And he had to go to the wedding. But in the wedding, I could feel like the anger in me because I'm thinking I should be in London watching the match. And what I'd done, I sneaked out to church. I got the train up to London, watched Arsenal win 1-0 against Liverpool, woohoo, which is even better. And I got back home about 10 o'clock in the night. I went straight back to the wedding in the hotel, and no one had realised that I'd nicked out and come back because everyone was drunk. It was only 2 weeks later when my brother got the wedding photos back. My mum said to me, Arson, how come you're not on none of the photos? And I can't lie. And I went, I slipped out and went to the match, and she just went, get up them stairs.
I do want to touch on the fact that you can't lie, because I find that very interesting, but I think it must be really good for you, but I'd like to come back to that. But one thing that we probably haven't mentioned, and it's quite important given the name of your book and who you are, and your accent. I mean, any of the British people watching this will know that your accent is not that you'd find near Highbury.
No.
And Highbury's where Arsenal play, for those who don't know, or where it was anyway. It's the Emirates now. So you're clearly a Scouser.
Yeah.
From Liverpool.
Yeah.
So when you talk about I used to go to the match, that's not just you used to wander down to Anfield.
No. I can't go there. I come out in a rash.
Me too, but for a different reason that I don't think we've ever discussed, but you might just be able to see it behind me. Let me just alter that. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my what?
Oh, Cantona. What a
That's
player.
nearly as bad though, isn't it? Yeah, what a player.
Man, you don't actually mean nothing to me. Do you know what I mean? So, like,
Well, that's good.
the Scousers do, don't they? Because that big a rivalry, but
Yeah.
so Man U are not my rivalry. It's
You
Spurs.
nearly said it then, and you nearly said they do, though, don't they, though?
No, I don't.
Yeah, so explain why you're called Arsenal, because you weren't born Arsenal, were you?
No, so what happens when I was 1971, all the kids on our estate used to go out in the morning and play their FA Cup final, and in the afternoon it was Liverpool Arsenal in the final. So we ran onto the pitch. There was about 20 of us, and then this lad went into the Liverpool goal. When I thought, I wanted to go in goal. So what I've done, I picked up the two jumpers, ran down the other end of the pitch, I put one jumper there, and then as I turned round, there was me on the Arsenal team and 19 on the Liverpool team. And you all started going, Arsenal. And it's just stuck. And then in the game, if you ever got hold of the ball, someone would call out Arsenal, and I'll throw it to them. Then when I went home, I said to me mum and dad, I want Arsenal to win today. And my dad went, don't be so effing stupid. You come from Liverpool. So I said, no, I want Arsenal to win. And Liverpool scored first, Steve Highway. And that was the first time I gave myself a slap when Highway scored.
Wow.
And yeah.
That's really interesting, because one of the things I was going to ask you about was, I've seen you talk to other people, and we've spoken a little bit about triggers and where they come from. And I think a lot of people's triggers are hard to track down, but quite a lot of yours seem to be easy to track down. And that's clearly one of them. You know, the Arsenal not doing very well. You can understand, whilst today, looking back at that, that's an extreme reaction to it, and it's an extreme to beat yourself up, or literally beat yourself up as you're growing older. But you can almost understand the source of that problem, and I know that you can't tell a lie.
Yeah.
But for someone to accuse you of that, I know is also a trigger of yours, and again, I can understand why that would be a trigger, because one, because you can't do it, but two, it's a very upsetting thing to be accused of, especially if you never do it.
Yeah.
So, and I think another one is also the link between autism and a particular Hollywood movie that people tend to go to. That's another something that winds you up, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and again, you can see why. So, can you talk something? Can you? Is it very much tied down to things that have affected you in your life, your triggers.
It's like when I used to come down in the morning, if anyone had left like a glass on the table, boom, I couldn't handle it. Or
Right.
I go in the kitchen and someone's left a plate out, boom, I couldn't handle it. And I would harm over it. And what I realised is that I used to think that if you done it different to me, it was wrong. And that's where I struggle, say, because in my head I'll be saying, why are you doing it like that? That's wrong.
Was your childhood home very tidy? Like, was your mum a very organised and tidy person?
And no, but my bedroom was. If I come home,
I didn't know if it was something you'd learn.
if I come home from school, I could tell if anyone had been in my room. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that structure presumably helped you in the chaos that was around.
Yeah. It's like even now, if, do you know, I have like a brown inhaler.
Yeah.
And you take 2 puffs of it and you leave a minute apart. Well, when I take just 1 puff, I put it back in the box.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that's where it belongs, in the box. And then I take...
What, and then get it out again for the second puff?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's just the way... it's like I was in work once and I used to work in this bakery, and on me 2 days off, we'd had a delivery, and when I come in, the lads had put all the delivery in the freezer, but then when I went in, it was this box, and it had a big arrow on it, and it had this way up only.
I knew you were going to say that.
And the box was upside down, wasn't it? And I was flipping my lid in the freezer. And the manager heard the noise, come over, opened up the freezer, and I was punching everything and punching me. And he ran and locked himself into the office. Because he thought if I would get hold of him, I probably would have hurt him. But yes,
and you're not a big guy, are you? You know, you're. But clearly, that would be a threatening scenario if you're going off on one like that.
Yeah, I used to walk the kids to school, and if the kids wanted to walk a different way, boom, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it because it was out of my routine. But now I have strategies.
Well, can we talk about that a little bit as well? Can we talk about your social stories? Because that's the first time I've heard about that when I met you the other week, that you told me about that. And one, I'd be interested if you could tell me about your social stories, but 2, how that's allowed you to start pushing the boundaries and going to things like Where I've Met You.
Yeah. Sort of like, I give you an instance. When I'm in a station and a train comes in and it puts its brakes on, flip, I can't take the noise.
The noise?
Yeah, I can't take it. And that's a negative noise. And what I have to do, I have to get a similar noise, what's a positive. And what I do you remember the old projectors? And you had a slide and you put it in and it come up.
Yeah.
It's like today's PowerPoint, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Well, I have a projector in my head, right? It's my strategy. I have a projector in my head, and when I go to train station and the train is coming in, what I do, I get a slide, a positive slide, and what me positive slide is, I got engaged on the Orient Express.
Wow.
And then as the train's coming in the station, and that braking noises are negative, and I get me positive slide and I put it in me projector, and then all I think of is, wow, getting engaged on the Orient Express.
Wow. I thought it was going to be a whistle for when Thierry Henry had scored a goal, and I thought it was going to be the referee blowing a whistle.
No, I have strategies for everything, just everything I learn. Strategies all the time.
But what you also do, because you have quite strict regime to your days, don't you? So you do certain things at certain times of the day every day.
Yeah. So my evening routine is 6:30 or 6 o'clock until 8 o'clock. It's meal time, and 8 o'clock till 9 I clean the kitchen and I iron my clothes for the next day. Then 9 o'clock till 10, watch a TV, a drama, or have the radio on. And then at 10 o'clock, I carry a pad with me all times, and any negatives from today, I write them in the pad. So instead of all that anger going from me hand to me head, it's going in the pad. And what I do tonight at 10, I get them pad out, and I'm in a good environment, I'm nice and calm, and I can go down every negative and turn it all into a positive. And I do that, and what I do then, I get me mobile, and every text I've had today, I delete them all. And what I do then, I give myself a social story, and that's about what to expect tomorrow. Then when I go to bed at 11:15, I have the best sleep ever because I've got nothing on my mind. And when I wake up the next day, wow, I'm so happy. I'm just happy, mate. I'm just, yeah, because I haven't harmed. That's another day I haven't harmed, and it's just, I know what to expect because I've had me social story. So yeah.
So what people won't know during this conversation is, I mean, we started this at 7 o'clock this evening. We've booked until 9. We'll take as long as we need to. You know, if it finishes sooner, that's fine. But to a lot of people, doesn't matter. You know, that's just, I'm free, I can do it.
Yeah.
To you, you will have had to have built that into your social story, right?
Yeah, yes. See, without my social story, I would have meltdowns and that, because last year I normally go shopping to Asda in this place called Castle Point, and this day I thought, do you know what, I'm not gonna do a social story, And what I'd done, I went to a different Asda. And when I got there, I got triggered straight away. And it was because this Asda, you needed £1 for your trolley. And the other Asda never. And boom, because I didn't have £1, I was panicking. And when I went into Asda, flicked again, because they had a chemist in there, and the one at Castle Point doesn't have a chemist. And then I noticed what do you call it? Specs agents and opticians there. Triggered again. So I'd hardly walked in and had been triggered 3 times. And then when I went down all the aisles, everything was in a different place. And it triggered me, and he had a meltdown in Asda. And then when I went back in the car park, I couldn't find my car because my head was just all mashed. And then when I found my car, I drove home. And then 2 weeks later, I got a parking fine in the post because I'd overstayed in the car park because I had the meltdown, because I didn't have a social story telling me that I'd need £1 and I'd, and they're really important to me. If without the stories, I probably wouldn't be here.
And what does it, in that scenario then, Arsenal, what does this meltdown look like? When you're in that supermarket, because if you're not self-harming, what does a meltdown look like to the outsider?
Okay, to me, have you ever been on the waltzers or like a big roller coaster? Do you know when you come off them and you're like, oh, you don't know where you are, do you? Like, and all your body's all over. It's what it's like. It's just
almost like being drunk.
Sorry?
A bit like being drunk.
Yeah.
You're literally dizzy.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's like you're getting squashed. It's like you're getting squashed.
Wow.
And you come off the waltzers and he's been spinning the waltzers, then you come off and you're all, woo, a bit.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
And do you know what you look like to other people? Do you know what your body's doing? Would it be obvious to somebody else in the aisle next to you that you were struggling?
They would be scared.
Right.
I scare people.
Yeah, and that must be hard for you.
Not right at the time, because I'm in a different place. I've gone to a totally different place. But I'll give you an example. I was watching Arsenal, but I couldn't get a ticket. I was watching it at home, and it was when Man United beat us, I think 8-2.
Oh, I remember that game, but we won't talk about it because I don't know.
Oh my God! I gave myself a hiding. I gave myself a good hiding because there was 8 goals. I was buttoned and everything, but my wife at the time videoed me.
Ah.
And after the match, I went to her. How come that furnace is broken? My wife said, that was you, Arsenal. no, I wouldn't break the kid's stuff. And he went, yeah, have a look at this video. And I was like, wow, I trashed the house. But every time Arsenal got beat it for watching it at home, wow, I trashed the house, mate. Just because I was out of control. It became an addiction, as I said earlier.
But it sounds like it was just something that you were totally not in control of, and you're not even able to understand that it's happening.
Yeah. And what I do now is when Arsenal play, what I do, I go down the beach and I'll have a walk for like 2 hours. So I'm out of the way, and then I come home, I can have a look at the score, and then I can watch it on Match of the Day as long as I know the score. I can't go in a pub and watch it on the screen because that'll be too much. I just can't do it. Is it alright if I go and get a glass of water?
Please, go for it. I'm loving this conversation. I love Arsenal. He's such a guy. So on the back of the subject of social stories, then, I met you at a festival in a field in Hampshire, and it was the first time you had ever been to a festival when I met you.
Yeah.
And basically, I don't know, even I know I was volunteering on the My Black Dog stand at the time.
Sorry, yeah.
And you just came round the corner, and we just ended. I don't know how we started to chat. I must have just said, "Do you want to talk about mental health?" And you just went, "Yes, mate," and jumped in. But this is where you opened up your story, and you told me about the book. And as soon as I got back, it was the first thing I did. Well, we swapped emails as well, but first thing I did. In fact, I don't think I was home. I think I actually ordered the book while I was still there. But what I've learned this year is, the obstacle, or the way you've used social stories and prepared yourself, like a military sort of thing to go to Carfest, and now you've even been to the F1.
Yeah. It's what I had to do with the noise. I put my radio on number 1 for a couple of days, and then the next couple of days I'll put it on 2, and each day I just put it up a number for each day, and that's how I got to the noise.
And what about the rest of it? Because I mean, a festival just isn't noise, is it? Even down to what we were talking about, your meals. You like the same meals every night. You have the cycle of meals. You like it on a plate. You presumably like it at the same table, and you eat or in the same way. And you're in a plate. You're camping in a blinking tent for a start. Everything's different.
Yeah, it was like though, but as I said earlier, food is only to keep me alive. So when I was getting the food, they had like steak pie every day. It was there, and for breakfast they had porridge. So I was, because it's, and what I've been learning over the last year is when I have me tea, what I do, I have a middle plate. So what that is, I have 3 plates. So what I do, I get my main meal, cut it in half, and I put 1 on this plate and half on that plate, and the middle plate is empty, and what I do, earlier in the day, I've gone to the supermarket and, do you know the aisle or the bit where everything's like £1 because it's got to be it on that day? So what I do, I get some of that, and when I get home, I put it on my middle plate, and what I do then, I'll eat half of me tea off this plate, and to get to the rest of me meal, what I have to do, I have to try something on the middle plate, and if I try it, as a reward, I get like the rest of my meal, and that's what I do.
And it can be anything.
Hey,
It can be anything.
yeah, it could be anything.
Just not dog shit curry, and not elastic buns Chinese, and not maggot fried.
So I am learning, but I don't know, it's really hard because I don't have like that. I can taste, but I don't get like a message coming down.
You don't think, ooh, I fancy a so and so, so and so.
Yeah, it's like today I went out with a lad to catch up, and we went for the carvery, and then I got home, and then in the evening I had me 2 sandwiches, me dried Whittick, and it was like, there's no difference from having that big carvery to like having 2 sandwiches. It's just food to keep me alive.
That's interesting. But the interesting thing about that is the fact that you avoid certain foods because you think that wouldn't matter if it's just literally calories to keep you alive. It could just be beige liquid, really. It wouldn't matter, would it? You know, but it's interesting that you avoid certain foods.
No, I'm just a bin, really. If you step on my foot, my mouth opens.
Oh dear. How did you find the music at Carfest this year?
As personally, yeah, it was enjoyable because, but I stayed right at the back, and he had a screen over by me, see, so I never went straight into the middle of it. I just stayed.
That helped you to manage it.
Yes. Oh, that's how I managed it. I was by a big screen.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of cars at Carfest, and they do all sorts of different things. Yeah. They're loud and noisy, but there can't be anything on the F1.
No, but at the F1 is, do you know when you go past a building site and they're putting up the scaffolding?
Yeah.
And you have like a ratchet and you tighten it all up. Well, if I'm going past a building site and I know they're going to be putting scaffolding up and there and that noise, I get my slide, and it's sort of at the F1. And do you know when you change the wheels and they go?
Yeah.
When I go past a building, right, if I hear them tightening up a scaffold, and I just think of F1 and them change wheels. And with the noise, it's not like a loud bang. It's like it comes in slow because if you come round the corner and they're getting nearer and there, so the noise is like a graduate. So it's not just like a boom.
Yeah.
It's like that, isn't it?
You get a bit of a warning, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, you know, because yesterday I was invited to a thing where it was supposed to be an autism sensory thing. And it's weird that we ended up talking because I got invited to it, but they purposely didn't tell us what it was. I don't know if you're aware of them. Have you seen them before? These things where they try and give somebody who doesn't suffer with autism an idea of what it's like to deal with that sensory overload. Are you aware of that?
No.
It was amazing. So you basically go in the back of like a truck.
Oh, aye.
And they gave us headphones like the ones from the silent disco at Carfest.
Yeah.
And then they put a big screen on, and they put the headphones were unbearably loud, ridiculously loud all of a sudden. But it was buses going past, and it was noises from building sites, and it was people on their phones, people eating crisps.
Yeah.
Really, really everyday noises, but like really loud and all on top of each other. And then, as you went along, they gave you 5 instructions all at the same time. Yeah. So they said, and we also had glasses on that made it hard to see, and really thick gloves on that made it hard to touch things. And they said there were 6 boxes in the room, and they said, go to box 1. At the end of the video, go to box 1, take out the 22p coins and put them on box 2. And then another one was go to box 3 and find the 5 of clubs, and then blah, blah, blah. But they gave you like 6 instructions. And at the end, they said, you've got 2 minutes to do it. And not only did you feel punch drunk because of the sound and all the overwhelming sort of stuff that was going on, when you went to the boxes, the things that they'd told you were there weren't there. And that was upsetting, you know, like you're saying, you know, what you imagined to happen, and you've got 2 minutes to do it, and you've got to get the lid off with these horrible gloves on. You could bet I couldn't tell the difference between a tiddlywink and a penny because I had these glasses on. And I went to 3 or 4 different boxes, and there was another bloke doing it at the same time, and he had the same headphones on. And I thought, because they were like the silent disco headphones, I wondered if he'd had different instructions to me, because he went to different boxes. Okay. But when we sat down after the 2 minutes, we took everything off, and she said, how was that? And I said, it was horrible. You know, it was absolutely horrible. And he said, well, I had no idea what I was doing. He said, because I didn't really, there was so much going on, I couldn't take in the instructions. And I only heard the last one, really. And I said, well, I saw him going to a different box, and I thought, am I doing this wrong? Because he's doing something different to me. And then I thought, there was also flashing lights, and it was dark, but there was flashing lights. And I went to the box, and it wasn't what was in there. And I went to another box, and I got to about box 5, and I just said, I lost my temper, but rather than losing my temper, I just sat down again. Yeah. But it was, I'm sure it's not a perfect example of what autism, like you've described, feels like. But it was amazing to show me how overwhelming those sounds and the mixed messages and the confusion and the frustration for things not being where they should be. It was awful.
Yeah. It's like when I watch my drama tonight, say 9 till 10, our lounge and the kitchen are all one. It's massive, but it's all one. But if she's done it in the past. She's gone in the kitchen and watching me drama, and she's turned the kettle.
Is it your daughter?
And I can hear the bubbles in the kettle.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm watching the drama. And she's like, I've just turned the kettle on, Dad. I know, but the bubbles. And she's going, bloody hell. So now the strategy is, she comes in, tells me she's going to put the kettle on, and what I do, I get the remote control, subtitles on, and then when the kettle's boiling, all my effort and distraction is reading the subtitles, and that's what I have to do. Oh, if the microwave goes on,
and you couldn't have done that. What, 15 years ago? Because you've had to learn to read, haven't you?
Yeah, I learned to read with a group called Read Easy, and they teach adults how to read and how to break words down. It's like I've got a massive dictionary here. I want to do it for I'm reading and I don't understand the word. I get the dictionary out, get the meaning of the word, then I go back to it, and if it's any words I can't pronounce, I go on Google and learn how to pronounce it, and that's why I can only read a sentence at a time, because it's just too much.
But I mean, it's interesting that the sensory overload from something that's silent, you know, to someone who doesn't struggle with autism, I think those things are quite enlightening. They're quite interesting, and it shows me one of the things that these regular talks on Chewing the Crust have allowed me to do is feed into being more understanding. I think you are such an understanding man despite what you've been through, but I get the impression that that's because of what you've been through.
Yeah.
And what do you do now then? So, because obviously I do know what you do, but what's your week look like? Because you now use what you've learned over the last 20 years to help other people.
Yes. Oh, I have two roles really. One of them is with Dorset Mental Health Forum, and what I do on one day of the week, I do the Oliver McGowan training, and then day two I go into the local mental hospital, and I have a couple of clients there who have autism, and the staff who don't understand autism are struggling to work with them. And what I do, I go in, I talk to them, and I try and get the nurses to understand them a bit better. So we'll do that. And then for the other 3 days, I have my company, a boy called Arsenal, and what I do, I go into schools. Yay! Yeah, I go into schools, I go into the NHS, I go into libraries, I go into businesses, and I give a 2-hour talk, and I give talks are free. You only have to pay for the expense to get there, and I give a 2-hour talk, a Q&A, and then stay there just answering all the questions, and that's what I do. I've got the best job ever.
Do you enjoy it?
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. And if I'm not giving any talks, I've got a book stand at 3 of the local shopping centres, 1 in Bournemouth and 2 in Poole. So that's what I do. If I don't have a talk, I'm out on the street selling the book.
And the incredible thing about that is there was a kid once upon a time who couldn't talk, and now all you do is talk.
I know. It makes me so happy. Like, people that say to me, "Go, why'd you stand there trying to sell your book?" And might be days I might only sell a couple, but to me it's about getting it out there about autism, and then it's about how I couldn't speak, and there I am talking to strangers and that. It's because I have a strategy for that. Every Saturday afternoon, I go into Bournemouth City Centre, and for 1 hour, just every Saturday, what I do, I go up to a stranger, and what I'll do, I'll just say to them, "Excuse me, do you know where Bournemouth Library is?" And they'll go, "Oh yeah, it's up the hill, just about 10 minutes walk." And what I do that, then I know where the library is, but it's just helps with the interaction. And then when I'm at the library, I stop another stranger and I'll ask them, "Excuse me, do you know where W.A. Smith's is?" They say, "Yeah, it's down the hill to the left." So in 1 hour, I'm just walking up and down, interacting with people.
Brilliant. You know, things like that, and the thing you told me about the meal with the 3 plates. Are these things that you've come up with, or are these things that you've found other people doing and you've given it a try?
They're things that I've come up with. I'm not saying I'm the first person, but I've done it myself. There'd be no one who's told.
They're ingenious.
Hey?
That's ingenious.
It's just trying to improve yourself, isn't it? It's just to make yourself.
Yeah, but it's one thing to try and improve yourself. It's another thing entirely to deal with what is quite a complex psychological condition that you manage, and actually find solutions to overcome problems to allow you to lead a life that you want to lead rather than the one that frustrates you. I mean, I can't tell you how breathtaking I find that.
Wow. Thank you.
Well, you're an amazing guy. So the other thing that is a massive change, not speaking and then going on and speaking, you couldn't, this whole sort of journey of, I don't like to say recovery, it's more discovery, isn't it? Because you've found things out about yourself and managed it. All started with that terrible scenario with your daughter when she came to give you a hug and obviously went to harm herself, to the total opposite, which was trying to do a Guinness World Record by hugging as many people as you can in a minute.
Yeah, the record was 88. And I attempted it in January of this year, and I done 91. But the Guinness Book of Records have disqualified me because some of the hugs never met the criteria. So I'm going to attempt it again. What I do, the first one I hug is my youngest daughter, and the one who breaks the record at the 89 person is my daughter, who tried to take her life because I didn't hug her.
That's really special.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Well, can you let me know when you're doing it? Because I'd be more than willing to drive to Bournemouth to come and give you a hug as part of that, man.
Yeah. There's a meeting in October about it. Oh,
right. Well, you keep me informed because I'm
of course.
I'm famous for my hugs. Even if I don't get in on the world record, I'll come and give you a hug for breaking it. That's for sure.
No, you'll be in the line. I'll get you in the line.
So looking back at the life you've had and at the changes you've made, what message would you give to young people who struggle with or who are autistic? One of the things I've tried to do before coming on this chat, and I don't know if I've succeeded or not, because I know a little bit about autism, but I don't know about the acceptable phrases and terms to use. And it would seem that it's not, people don't tend to like to be considered as having autism. They are autistic. Is that right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that if I've got it wrong throughout, I'm apologising to you, but also to anyone who's listening, because I do want to get it right. But it is like you say, it's a societal thing, and it's quite hard to get everything right. But the last thing I want to do is upset anybody. But what I would like to say is, what advice would you have to families and young people who do have autism in the family, particularly with their children? What would you like to see change, and what advice would you give?
I would like to talk to people and give them hope, because when my daughter was in hospital, my wife just happened the next day to have a doctor's appointment, or 2 days later, and she said to her doctor, my husband is getting diagnosed with autism. He's 49. Will he be able to change? And my wife had already done. He Googled it and he went to it, 49. He's not going to change. And then when my daughter come out of hospital and heard that I couldn't change, she said to my wife, it's dad or me. And then in the end, we ended up getting divorced after 20 years. And what I say to people is, if your doctor doesn't understand it, just go to another doctor. Just never give up, because because the doctors don't really know either, because they're not really trained in it, are they? And that's the problem. Your first point of call is your doctor, but your doctor's not trained in autism and understanding autism. So how can he be the first port of call?
And I don't think it helps that autism is so complicated, and people talk about the spectrum, which and I probably do a little bit, but I find it frustrating because it's not really a spectrum. It's lots of different people being different.
Yeah.
And I think if you go to a doctor and the doctor says someone with autism will never recover at 49, it's just not that simple. It's can Arsenal Whittick, with his scenario, be helped, or can he help himself? And actually, the answer should always be yes. And even if he can't, we'll do our damn sight best to try and help him.
Yeah. Well, the first hospital I was under, it was a mental hospital. They tried to put me on medication straight away. And I said, don't want to take medication. And do you know what they done? Discharged me.
No.
Just, wow, I was out there going, wow, what must I? And then I went to another mental hospital, and they were totally different. That they were amazing with me. I remember going in and the receptionist saying to me, are you Arsenal's? Oh, I said, yeah. And he said, oh, everyone's really looking forward to working with you. I know what it was like. The first time I'd felt like a human being, that because people wanted to help me, and I'd never had any of that. I think that's why I work.
What a gift.
So hard at it, because I had people who were tried to help me.
What a gift somebody giving you just those it shows why we need to be kind to each other, but also just to be able to say that to somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, you might not be where you are if that lady hadn't have said that to you.
Yeah, it was like, wow. It will stay with me forever, that.
Does she know?
Yes. We've kept in touch.
I'm really pleased about that.
Yeah, we kept in touch, and each Christmas we get a Christmas card, and what I'll do, I'll ring her up and we'll have a chat, which is really nice.
So if somebody wants to get hold of you, Arsenal, and they want you to come and talk, if one of the 3 people that listen to this podcast want to book you and get you along, how do they go about doing that?
It's email me on arsenal.whittick@outlook.com. Yeah, or they can message me on Facebook, Arsenal Whittick.
Yeah, there's not many Arsenal Whitticks, is there? The other thing that's interesting about that, you since your diagnosis and since you've been dealing with it, you've met a lot of the Arsenal players, haven't you?
Yeah.
Arsenal's just show. Oh, look at all the pictures! Amazing. Who was your top target? Have you still got a target that you'd like to meet, or have you met all the ones that you really wanted to?
I don't have targets really, or the person has blew me mind was that in April 2002, when I was 40, Arsene Wenger sent me down a handwritten letter saying best wishes Arsenal from everyone from Arsenal FC, and he autographed it, or he signed it. Wow, and I thought, wow, he never does nothing like that, Arsene Wenger. He never likes anything like that. And then about a month later, I got this package. I'll have to get a picture of it and show you it. Arsene Wenger sent me down the first team shirt, and it was autographed in the whole squad.
And how did that come about?
So when we used to play at Highbury, the coach used to come down Highbury Hill, and when it stopped outside the stadium, back then it was like the players used to get off autograph stuff for you, and I would always acknowledge Arsene Wenger. It'd come off, he'll have his briefcase, and I go, hello Arsene, and I go, hello. And it just snowballed. He started like stopping and talking to me, and then, yeah. And
So it wasn't like, I mean, he knew who you were, that's why.
Yeah. I've got the top in me hall, it's all framed and it's all autographed, and yeah.
Nearly as good as the Cantona shirt, that, isn't it?
What? I think the line went bad then.
I tell you what I don't want to be responsible for is you to self-harm now as a result of me saying that.
No, it's banter, isn't it? Now, that's why I look at it. It's just banter, isn't it?
The other thing that we haven't mentioned, and I don't want to keep you too long, but
no, it's okay.
Something that's been a big change in your recent life is that your daughter and your grandson have moved in with you.
Yeah.
And that in itself has posed challenges that you've been able to manage.
Yeah, because he's only 20 months, he's walking everywhere. I know when, like, I clean the windows and everything, I go to put the polish back, come back in the room, the handprints everywhere. So, but, you know, I've got to live with that. That's just life. You know, instead of me always doing it, I just do it like once a day, and then I know I've done it that day. I've done my best, and yeah.
I was going to say, it's kind of nice that he's helping to train you. A little baby that size who's so important to you,
Yeah.
he's actually helping you overcome some of your problems.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like if he drops food on the floor, he'll go, "Oh no," and he'll pick it up.
Nice.
Wow, and I go, wow. And my daughter goes, "Dad, you're getting them like a robot." So I said, "No, he's just learning, isn't he?" Oh, he's good. He's tested me on some days, you know what I mean? But then he's a little boy. That's how he communicates. So, yeah.
But you love you love being a granddad as well, though, don't you?
Oh, yeah. When he comes home from nursery, if I'm in my office, he'll knock on my door. And when he opens it, he'll come in and like we'll have a hug and a kiss, and like, or before he goes to bed, he'll give me hug and a kiss, and he'll go, "Night." So yeah, it's really nice, isn't it?
Can you remember overcoming the hug thing for the first time?
Yeah. Christmas Day 2014, I gave my two girls the Christmas presents, and after de-dumping them all and stuff like that, I said to them, "I've got one more present for you."
Wow.
And I said, "But you have to stand up." And I tried to hug them. It took about 20 minutes to just hug them. And then I hugged them, and both of them they cried. And my wife come in at the time and seen them crying and went to me, "What have you done to them now? What have you done to them now?" And the girls go, "No, Dad's just hugged us." And then I realised then, you know, but it still doesn't come naturally. That's like Sam come round 2 nights ago, and when she was leaving, it was like this little standoff because she didn't know whether to come and hug me, and I just, yeah, it doesn't come naturally, even still to this day.
I remember you telling me the story though, and when we finished, I was like, I had to say, "Are you all right to hug now?" And you were, "Yeah." So I just threw my arms around you. We had a big hug, but it's very. I mean, it's such a poignant thing that you've been through, and that first hug. And the other thing we should probably mention as well is that you and your wife are still very close, aren't you? Despite not being husband and wife anymore, you're still very close, and you know, you weren't abandoned.
No, it was, looking back, it was for the best, really, because like kids were watching me home and they watch me smash the house up and stuff like that. So it was the best. Like, got a little story actually. I went round to pick the two girls up, and I sat the two girls down at the table and I went to them, I want you to go upstairs and I want you to write a list down of how I can be a better person and a better dad. And he went upstairs with the paper, and it felt like a couple of minutes, and I heard them shout, "Dad!" And I thought, wow, God, that was quick. So I started walking up the stairs, and when I got halfway up the stairs, I heard them shout to me, "And you got some more paper?" And I went, "Shit."
Oh, dear.
It was like a toilet roll in the end. It was bloody massive.
Well, I don't know for sure, and perhaps we should have another interview with them, but I think you've probably achieved a lot of those things. You must be a totally different person to them, to the one that they grew up with.
Yeah, it's like I've got two new daughters, actually. It really has, Steve. And when I give talks in the night time, they come with me as well.
Nice.
And they join in the Q&A and stuff like that. So it's really nice. And two of them have a chapter in the book, which I never read till it was in the book, actually, because I didn't want anything to do with their, like, I didn't want to put no, like, pressure on them. So, yeah, I let them just get on with it.
But I think that's what makes you so special, Arsenal, because the thing about you saying you can't lie, you're also brutally honest. You're entirely honest. So it's one thing not to be able to lie. It's another thing to be forthcoming with all the bad as well as the good. And that's what you do. And that's what helps people relate to your story and to understand, actually, we've all done things we regret. We've all done things that we would like to change, but you can't. So all you can do is do good things moving forward.
Yeah.
And you're a shining example of that. So
thank you.
Mate, well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. This has been too long coming, and I really would like to arrange to have a chat with you again another day, because not on to record, but just because you're a top guy, and I do consider you a friend. So,
thank you.
and I'm definitely going to be down in Bournemouth down for them hugs. Right, mate. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for taking time. You can go and get something like back to your normality now, and get watching your dramas.
Yeah, 9 till 10 I'll watch me drama, then get me pad out. Yeah. Listen, Mark, it's been an absolute pleasure. It really has.
I'm so proud to know you. I'm proud, and people must go out and buy the book, because it really is interesting. A Boy Called Arsenal. They are available on Amazon, because he is a superhero and a top geezer, and always a pleasure to talk to. He's hilarious, as are all Scousers, can I just point out. I'm so pleased we've managed to get this together and had a chat, and this will be up as well in 2 days, because I've taken tomorrow off to edit it.
Oh, wow. Oh, thanks very much, Mark.
No, you're welcome, mate. Please keep in touch.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I keep in touch.
And I'll catch you soon.
Yeah. Oh, thanks very much again, Mark.
You're welcome. Thanks, Arsenal. You're a superstar.
Bye, mate. Bye-bye.
Before I wrap up, just a quick word. My book, The Pie-Eating Man's Guide to a Healthy Mind, is available now on Amazon, or you can email me directly to get a copy. I can arrange for that to be sent out and have it personalized for you should you wish. My email address is pieeatingman@outlook.com. It's written for the everyday person who wants to look after their mental health in a simple and down-to-earth way. A great book fizzing with your voice, your heart and your soul. Perfectly pitched, a cracking read. There, Mr. Chris Evans' own words. And that brings us to the end of today's episode of Chewing the Crust. A huge thank you to Arsenal Whittick for sharing his story. Proof that even after the decades of silence, we can all find our voice and place in the world. If you enjoyed this conversation, please like, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps us reach more people who might just need a reminder that change and connection are possible at any stage of life. If you want to know more about today's guest, I'd highly recommend you buy A Boy Called Arsenal by Alan J. Hill. It tells Arsenal's story with honesty and heart, and you can pick it up now on Amazon, or you can contact Arsenal, give him an extra £5 and get a signed copy. Thank you so much for listening. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, keep chewing the crust.